Well, Trump's a numbers man, isn't he? I mean, he looks at things like the Peterborough by-election, where the Brexit Party and the Conservatives together got over 50% of the vote, and Labour won the seat with 31% of the vote. So Trump, the businessman, says, hey, there are two parties here. There's a committed pro-Brexit new leader of the Conservative Party. If they work together, they win. If only life was so simple.
Well, indeed. So are you telling viewers that you think the prospects of that are pretty remote?
Well, I think the Conservative Party upper echelons have always absolutely loathed me. Still, a majority of them do not want a clean break Brexit. They want to try and revisit this dreadful deal that Mrs May negotiated with Brussels. The only circumstances in which we could talk at all about this is if Boris Johnson was committed to us just leaving on WTO terms on the 31st of October. I take the view that no deal is the best deal available right now, but I just don't see him moving to that position. I hope, though, he surprises me.
Well, he has been clear, hasn't he? And he says, you know, do or die, it'll happen in some form on the 31st of October.
Well, if he really means it, and let's hope he does, if he really means it, I don't believe that's achievable. He's got virtually no majority whatsoever. There's no sign the European Union are really going to budge. So I would have thought the only way then would be an early general election. If he's got the courage to do it, then we still could get a proper Brexit on the 31st of October.
Behind the scenes, Nigel, have there been any, conversations? What can you tell viewers about the kind of contacts, if there are any, between you and your people and some of the people in this new incoming administration? How would you describe that?
Yeah, not formally with Boris Johnson's team, but there are lots of MPs sitting in Parliament, quite openly chatting and speculating and saying, well, look, if Boris does decide to go for no deal, we simply have to get together. Nothing formally with Boris Johnson's team. He thus far has said that he would not do a deal of any kind with us, and I understand that because, if he was to contemplate it, it would lead to resignations from the Conservative Party. From our perspective, we would absolutely have to believe in what he said. And here's the hard part. Theresa May told us 108 times we were leaving on March the 29th. We didn't. Boris Johnson tells us, do or die, we're leaving on the 31st of October, but I'm not holding my breath on that.
When you look at certain individuals, and for example Dominic Cummings, who obviously was a very, very key figure in the Leave campaign, now assuming a very important role behind the scenes in Downing Street, is that the kind of person who encourages you or not?
Well, I think thus far these are good appointments because he's putting in place people who believe in Leave. Quite where Dominic Cummings stands on another referendum, we'll have to see, but at least he was part of the Leave camp. But the key here is, who is the Brexit Secretary going to be? Who is the Chancellor going to be? Who is the Northern Ireland Secretary going to be? These are the big appointments, and we'll find out whether Boris is trying to balance his own party between Leavers or Remainers, or whether he puts in place a team dedicated to getting this over the line. And all of that, I guess we're going to know in the next 48 hours.
We certainly will, and we may know some of those top names today, and you've mentioned some of the great offices there. So, for example, if someone like Dominic Raab became Foreign Secretary, do you think that would be a constructive move or not?
Yes, I do. I heard Jeremy Hunt talking just 2 days ago about shipping in the Gulf and the need to build a European protection force, a European navy. I'd much rather see someone like Dominic Raab, who believes in Brexit and doesn't want us being part of a European army.
Nigel Farage, good to talk to you again. Thank you very much for joining us from New York.